Sparka.com/social. Sparka.com/social. I'm taking a quick coffee break and I wanted to address a question, actually two questions with one answer. And the question is, how do you create a social media campaign? What's involved in creating, what are the steps in creating a social media campaign? And the second question, what is social media optimization? And we're going to address both those questions with one answer. And that one answer is going to be comprised of a 25-point checklist. This 25-point checklist is your checklist of all the factors you have to consider in order to be able to optimize what you do in social media. If you're missing just one of these points out of the 25 points, your campaign is just not going to be optimized. In other words, your click-through rate, your conversion rate, your ROI is going to actually plummet like a rock falling through foam. It's that crucial and critical that you have all 25 of these components, and we're going to go through them right now. But actually, before we do that, I'm going to ask you for a thumbs up to like this video in YouTube if you've liked any of our other videos in the past. I know that by the time you're done watching the video, you forget to click like, so I'm going to ask you for a thumbs up here. And thank you. And we appreciate all the thumbs up we get because that helps us become more visible to people like you and to other people that are trying to grow their business. So here we are. Step number one, most important, we're going to start from 1 to 25, and the most important points are scattered throughout, so follow along with us. First point, let's just cover everything that we have, the big headings under Facebook. Number one, 80% of the people that like your Facebook page are going to be robots. They're not real people. So how this is important, you might get 10,000 people that like your Facebook page and you might be super excited that, hey, we got 10, not really. Actually, let's say you got 8,000 people. No, that's not the easy way to do the math. Let's say you got 10,000 people. You only really have 2,000 real human beings that like your Facebook page, even though Facebook's policy is to have only real people start accounts. That's just not how it works, and we're going to explain why as we go through. And also your conversion rate. Let's say you've got 10,000 people that like your Facebook page. You put out a message and you only get 100 clicks to your website. You might think, well, 10,000 out of 100, why is it so low? It's actually much better than that because you're only getting a real 20% of the people. So if you got 100 clicks, you're getting 100 clicks from not 10,000 people, but from 2,000 people. So that's how you have to skew your math and your numbers. So number two, 15 times or 1,500 more people click on a picture than text in Facebook. 1,500% more people click on a picture than text in Facebook. What this means is that when someone uses Facebook, they don't read. They just don't read. They don't like to read. So you might think, okay, and there are services that do this, where they publish a bunch of pictures all over Facebook, get you a ton of people that like your page, and yet, when you actually go and share a link, share a 50% off if you buy one now, or limited offer, or whatever the headline is, and you get no click-throughs. You get no clicks to your website. You know why? It's because you didn't do it in the form of a picture. So now you're faced with a quandary. I've got all these people that are visual people, and yet when I'm trying to advertise a sale or a discount or a special offer, or actually push a call to action, you get no response because they're not readers. They're visual people. So that's a consideration. Number three, 80% of paid ad clicks are from India. Now that's a problem. That's a problem. Let's say you have a cost per click campaign going through on Facebook or on your Facebook like page. And if you paid $8, now let's say you paid $10. Sorry, only $8 out of that $10 went to people that are not going to buy from your website. 8 of those $10 that you spent in advertising are going to go to people that are doing market research and spam from India, Eastern Europe, South America. So you have to be extremely careful when you create a Facebook ad campaign, and you have to, what we recommend is that you designate only the UK, Canada, America, and be extremely specific about the regions that you open your ad up to. Otherwise, you're going to spend 80% of your ad dollars on people that are not buyers. They're just going to be spammers that you're dumping your money on. Number four, 19% of posts are visible to real clickers. 19. Let's put this backwards. Your Facebook posts are going to be only visible to 19% of the people that follow you or like you. That's weird, isn't it? So this is what happens. Let's say 1,000 people click like. They're real people now. I'm not talking people from India or Sri Lanka or Argentina, Yugoslavia, Eastern Europe, because that's where most of these people on Facebook come from, literally. I'm talking about real people in San Diego, California, in Brooklyn, New York, that actually like your Facebook page. You send out a Facebook message, only 19% of those people are going to see that message. And you know why that is? It's because Facebook wants you to pay to have your message shown to the other 81% of the people. And how much does that cost? It can cost $300 to $1,000 per message to have all the people see every message that you post on your Facebook like page. It's how Facebook makes their money, literally. If you don't know that and you spend a ton of money getting a bunch of people to actually like your page, well, sorry, your efficacy rate is only going to be 19%. How you raise that, there's no easy way. There's really no easy way. What each user has to do is click, change their settings on their relationship to your Facebook like page and say, view every message, add every message that's posted on this Facebook like page in my timeline. They actually have to specify that. Opting in to see your messages that are posted doesn't mean that they're opting in to see every single one. That's how Facebook's trying to drive revenue, and it's tricky, and that's the misleading deceit that's caused Facebook's stock valuation to just plummet. Let's see, what are we on? Number 5. Okay, we already covered that. I was going to say it costs about $500 per post to show more. Show your Facebook post to more than 19% of the people. $500 is what you can bank on. Let's see, 6. 84% of users on Facebook only use Facebook after 5 p.m. or on weekends. About 84%. Only after 5 p.m. or weekends. So if you've hired a social media team, or you've hired an ad agency, or you're paying your employees to do marketing and heavy pushing on Facebook, and they're doing it during work hours, sorry, 84%. So they're only getting about 26% efficacy. 84% are reading their Facebook page after hours, when all your employees and the people that you've hired stop working on Facebook. Number 7, Facebook posts last for about 6 hours. So if you post a message in the morning, by the time it becomes evening, it's gone. They will not see your message. Number 8, most Facebook users are moms and students. Most of them. In fact, only about 18%, depending on some demographics in some regions and some languages, only about 18% are men during work hours. So if you're targeting men for a sports event, or if you're targeting a tech product for men, trying to do it during work hours, sorry, you're going to lose a lot of money. You see why Facebook optimization, social media optimization becomes critical? You have to know these factors. Okay, let's move into Twitter, starting with number 9. And the next, the next 11 points are going to be all Twitter-based. Number 9 is going to be Twitter posts last for about 30 minutes at 200 followers. So if a person that you're tweeting out a message to, well, that's not accurate. You tweet out a message, and if someone is subscribing to you, following you, and they're following another 199 people, that message only remains visible for 30 minutes. So that means technically that you have to tweet every 30 minutes to become visible and stay visible throughout the day. And yet, most experts say that your click-through rate, there's a law of diminishing returns. Your click-through rate starts falling after 3 or 4 tweets a day. So how do you reconcile that? We'll deal with that in a couple minutes. In point number, 17 or 18, I think? Okay, so number 10, 29% of Twitter users are actually active. So you spend a ton of money, you get 10,000 followers, only 2,900 of them are real, active Twitter users. Only 2,900 are going to see you at all. And in order to be seen by those 2,900, you have to tweet within 30 minutes of their being online. Now you do the math, and you can see what your real click-through rate is. How many people saw the message versus how many people clicked on your website versus how many people actually bought the product on your website. Now you can do the ratios. Okay, number 11, 86% higher retweet rate than their linkless counterparts. What that means is that if you tweet out a message without a link, you're not going to be nearly as successful as if you were to include a link. So structure all your tweets in a way that they're enticing, they're leading. One of my favorite tweeters, well, besides ourselves, we have an extraordinary high click-through rate with our tweets. Woodland Alyssa. Say hi to Woodland Alyssa. It's at Woodland, Alllyssa, I think. Her tweets are, she's a journalist, she's a writer, she's a PR girl. Her tweets are written so enticingly, seductively. And I would venture to guess that her tweets have the highest click-through rate in all of Twitter. So read how she does it. That's how we do it as well. And if you just read the tweet, you almost can't help but click on the link. That's how to get the highest click-through rates. Number 12, tweets with hashtags get twice the engagement of those without. So what is a hashtag? Well, a hashtag puts you in a dual Twitter stream. Not only your followers, but the people that are following that hashtag, as in terms of a search term, also get to see it. So for instance, event props. Hashtag EVENTPROFS, it's event professionals. If you were to just hashtag something event professionals, then anyone that's an event manager, a conference director, a special events, special functions person and caterer, PR person that's in events, they will also see your message even if they're not following you directly because you've added a hashtag that they're subscribed to reading. So, and there are tons of hashtags like that. Some of them are trending hashtags that disappear after a day or two. Others are ongoing hashtags. And depending on your industry, you have different ongoing hashtags where professionals and potential buyers are logged into and following and subscribed to. So let's move on to actually let's expand on that a little bit. Yet only 24% of tweets during that time of study used them. Only 24% of the people that are professional social media marketers use hashtags. Huge missed opportunity. So you see again where social media optimization and knowing and applying these 25 factors becomes extremely crucial. Number 13, using one or even two hashtags in a tweet is fine. You'll get into, if you use two, obviously you'll be in 3 different streams, your stream and the 2 hashtag streams. But you'll start seeing a 17% drop off in engagement once you use more than 2 hashtags. Anyone that reads your tweet and sees that you've got like 3 or 4 hashtags, they can tell that you're becoming spammy and that your message isn't tailored for them. It's too general, and so they think, how could it apply to me? That's the psychology. Number 14, I like this one. If you ask your followers for a retweet, you'll get 12 times, 1,200% higher retweet rate than if you don't ask for a retweet. And that number jumps up to 23 times if you spell out the word retweet. Literally, hi, can you retweet this? Please retweet, as opposed to please RT. Now, this number doubles again if you don't say retweet, if you just say please share. Literally. And we've done tests, and the reason why, so you're going to get a 56% increase in retweets. 56 times, 5,600% increase in retweets if you say please share as opposed to please retweet. Why? It's because people are already saturated with the expression please retweet. It just hits their blind spot. But please share all of a sudden sounds fresh. Number 16. This is important. You can reach half your Twitter followers between 8 and 9 p.m. This tiny little sliver of time between 8 and 9 p.m. What this means is that you can tweet at, 9 a.m., 8 and 9 a.m. What this means is that you can tweet at 9:30, 10:30, 11:30, noon 30, 1:30 p.m., 2:30 p.m., all the way up to 4:30 p.m. once an hour, or you can just tweet once at 8:30 a.m. and you'll have the same number of people see that tweet. Pretty big numbers, huh? Again, why social media optimization is that important. After 9 a.m., it's hit and miss. That was number 17. Number 18, 81% of your competitors are not online after hours. Think about that. 81% of your competitors stop tweeting after hours and on weekends. So that means you have about a 500%, 5 times more likelihood to be able to convert a user to be able to entice a download, to be able to get a sale, get a purchase through your shopping cart on the weekends. That's when you need to concentrate. Number 19, 350% more consumers use Twitter on the weekends. So now let's do the math. If you take the 81% and you round it down to 80% and the 350% more customers on the weekends, let's just focus on the weekends. 80%, you multiply that by the 300%, you'll get 15 times, 1,500% more customers if you just tweet on the weekends. That's a big deal. So, and number 20, guest blogger pitch. You have to ask bloggers to be guest bloggers, and you have to ask bloggers if they will accept you as guest bloggers. That's the only way to get your message out really fast to your target audience. Find bloggers in your industry. Find bloggers that are talking to your prospective user and your market base, and get your message in their blogs. All you have to do in return is let them speak from your blog, which means that you have to have a blog. Number 21, we're going to move into Pinterest. And there's a bunch, but these are just the highlights. 20% of Pinterest users are men. 20%. 80% are women. How does that factor into your marketing? What does that mean for your conversion rates? That really depends on what products you're selling and who you're selling it to. Let's move into Reddit. This is important. 65% of Reddit users are men. 65%. And number 23, Reddit links are actually good for Google. They'll make your page rank, they'll make your Google visibility skyrocket if you use Reddit, but not Pinterest. Pinterest won't help Google one bit. Next, let's go into Paperly. Now this is a two-step issue, and I've said this before at my YouTube channel. Number 24, Paperly links are good for Google, and they're largely only accessible through Twitter. So what I'm saying is that you might think, okay, Twitter is no follow, so it's not going to help my Google ranking at all, my Google visibility for search terms. No, Twitter helps a great deal because people that use Twitter will post your Twitter link on their Paperly account, and their Paperly account is do follow. And Google looks at that Paperly account and sees, oh, 10 or 12 of your followers actually posted your link that you tweeted out 30 minutes ago on their Paperly page. And so this has to be relevant. Next time someone searches for what you do or what product you sell, I'm going to put your link on page 1 of Google. That's how Paperly works. And it's only available through Twitter practically most of the time. Number 25 is a big one. Can't leave out YouTube. Now, YouTube is the broadest bandwidth method of communication right now because through blogs or web pages, they're only going to be reading. So it's just a visual, cognitive communication. YouTube, it's visual and it's auditory. And it's real-time, real motion. So we can say it's three-dimensional versus one-dimensional. The broadband, it's the broadband equivalent of communication. But, and I'm going to use this quote. Some of you may be familiar with who said this. To he who has, more will be added. To him that doesn't, even what he has will be taken away from him. Famous philosopher said that. And it's true, even in YouTube. If your YouTube video already has a ton of views, more people are likely to watch it than if it has 10 views. People just shy away from the video thinking if it only has 10 views, it must be worthless. How you get an immediate influx of YouTube views without paying YouTube, because you know you can sponsor your YouTube videos. You can put $200-300 down, $1,000 down, and you'll get a couple hundred people to watch the video because you've sponsored it. You've pushed that video. Use Craigslist and DeviantArt. Now DeviantArt, interestingly, 51% of DeviantArt users are under 24 years old. What does that mean? It means that a DeviantArt user will work for you, will push your content, will drive your content and blog about you for much lower than a professional blogger will. And their blogs are just as high page rank, high visibility as any other blogger. Think about that for a moment. So if you talk to a DeviantArt user, for $50 or for $20, maybe even for $10, they'll blog about you, as opposed to a professional blogger who might charge you $500 for the same blog post that has the same link juice. I'm going to go into depth and in detail with all these points on our blog. You'll find us, sparka.com/social. And also go to sparka.com/social if you need help launching your social media campaign for your company. Look forward to hearing from you.